Lots of people ask me to simply tell them what to practice, but that's actually the wrong question for them to be asking. Here's why and what you should be doing instead. Hey friends, Morley-Fletcher here, and welcome back to the channel. And the problem is that there is literally an infinite number of things that you could be practicing, and there's no possible way that you can do all of them. So we've got to choose which are the things to practice that are going to get you to your specific goal, not someone else's goal, not the music that they want to play, but what is going to work for you. So it simply comes down to the thing that there is no one ideal practice routine. It's going to depend on where you are as a person and a musician. It's going to depend on where you want to get to. So unless I know both of those things, where are you starting from? What is your end goal? I can't possibly tell you the things to practice that are going to get there. And frankly, this is the issue that I have with people who say, here is my perfect practice plan. Here is the thing that is going to get everyone to the stage that they want to get to, because it relies on the fact that you have exactly the same goal in mind as the person who created the plan. And a lot of the time, that's not going to be the case. It relies on the fact that you're starting from the right point where this is the right things for you to be working on. It relies on the fact that you're going to learn in the same way as everyone else. And sometimes that's not the case. Different things are going to work for different people. And there's another important thing here, which is that a practice plan should be evolving. What you practice needs to change as you make progress. So even if I was to sit you down and work out, here is exactly the right things for you to be working on now, hopefully they're effective. In a short amount of time, you actually move forward to a different place. And then what you practice needs to change as well to reflect that. So it's not simply the case that you find your perfect practice plan and then you are done. It needs to evolve with you. So again, just saying, here is the answer, even if I could do it properly, that would help you for the moment. But then what are you going to do in a couple of weeks' time, in a couple of months' time, when you've made progress? You're going to come back and ask me again? Are you going to keep doing something which is no longer the right thing for you? Actually, it needs to evolve. It needs to change over time. And if you're liking this, well, that is what the videos on this channel are all about. I'm always looking to give you the tools that you can use yourself to get the things that you want, rather than having you just rely on always just being given things by other people. So if you can't just rely on finding the one perfect practice plan and you're done, well, what else can you do? And a great thing is to find a teacher. So in-person lessons with a teacher who knows you, can understand you, that's going to be really helpful. But you do need to make sure that they're aware of what your goal is. Because if you don't communicate that to them, what they suggest for you to practice might be aligned with just what their goals are, or what they think your goals ought to be, or maybe what they think your goals are, but they don't know. So you do need to make sure you're communicating with your teacher, this is where I want to get to, and then allowing them to help you find the way there. You don't want to hand over all the power to let the teacher decide, well, where are you going? And what about online classes, online lessons? Because this is an easier way to do things. If you can join up to an online kind of music teaching system, and that can be really good, but you need to be even more careful there, both about, well, is the goal of where they're trying to get to, is the point that the course is trying to get you to, is that the same as where you want to get to? But also, you need to be paying attention to how are you assessing where you are right now, so that you know what the next right step is for you. Because even if you find something that is perfectly aligned with where you want to get to, but it's designed for people who are at an earlier stage than you, or a later stage on that journey, then it might not be a good fit. And I find that it's really hard to get that alignment between a created online course, or a finished course, and what individual people are going to want. And that's why my own Practice Multiplier course is all about how to practice, not what to practice. And if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description below. And one other thing you need to be really careful about here is just make sure you're not adopting someone else's goals for their music and just assuming that they're your own. It sounds obvious, but it's surprisingly easy to do this. We hear someone else saying, oh, this is where you should get to. Or we see someone else playing and we think, oh, that fantastic, I wish I could play like that. And without realizing it, we take where they've said the goal is or what they're playing is like as, oh, this is what I want. And sometimes that happens without us really thinking, well, is that what I want? And our own goals are often different. So just make sure you're not doing that unconsciously. Make sure you're not being pressured into feeling, well, actually, this is what you should be as a musician. And have the courage and the time, the reflection to find your own goals, because that's really what's going to make you happy in the long term. And by the way, if that was really useful what I've just shared with you, then please click the like button to help this video spread to more people. Thanks. So what should you do now? Well, I think if you haven't already, finding a good teacher to help guide you is a great thing to do, and I definitely recommend that you do that. But I think for everyone, it's also really important to develop these skills for yourself to be able to guide your own practice. Now, two big parts to this is going to be setting the goals that you want and then evaluating what aspects of practice you need to do, what particular exercises you need to do to get you there. And it's beyond the scope of this video to go deeper into that, but check out my video on how to develop your own ideal practice routine next. I've been Morley-Fletcher. See you in the next video.